yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road to the magical land of B12, where one magic supplement will bring you back from the brink of insanity and death and cure every disease you've ever had or ever wanted to have, even cancer. Is it a placebo, you may ask? Or some type of snake oil? No, it's B12 and it breaks all the rules of nature. But first, before we worship at the altar of B12, let's find out how this magical, crucial, essential bacteria vitamin supplement was first created. From the Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine study, Recognizing, Treating, and Understanding Pernicious Anemia, published in 2008 on the government's prestigious National Institute of Health website, comes this fascinating and sketchy history of how B12 originated and was eventually marketed to vegans as that one magical bacteria vitamin supplement that nature forgot to provide in plants or pre-existing in the human body. By the way, it doesn't say anything about B12 being found in the dirt or water.
That is one big pile.
Vitamin B12 was initially created as an alleged cure for pernicious anemia. The first case diagnosed as such was in 1824. Although the cause was never investigated, the patient, who subsequently died, exhibited all the symptoms of food poisoning, possibly shellfish poisoning, inflamed stomach mucous membranes, diarrhea, extreme thirst, and vomiting. Not coincidentally, the same doctor who diagnosed this case, British surgeon Dr. James Combe, published a paper a few years later on that very subject called The Poisonous Effects of Eating Mussels. It turns out that the mussel beds in that particular city where the patient died were located really close to the sewage outlets. In other words, the patient was not suffering from any lack of vitamin or beneficial bacteria, but most likely from having been poisoned by sewage-tainted shellfish. This one case apparently set off a whole chain reaction of doctors trying to find a cure for this pernicious anemia without even knowing the cause. One clueless doctor even tried treating patients with arsenic. But it wasn't until a vivisection experiment in the 1920s, using dogs who had been bled out to simulate an anemic condition, these dying dogs were fed raw cow's liver. Although there was no proof how long it actually extended their lives, it was deemed a cure. The raw liver was then fed to 45 human patients in a trial, most of whom dropped out because they found eating the liver incredibly disgusting. Nevertheless, the experiment was considered a success, even though fruit and iron pills were also included in the diet. It's also not clear how closely they were monitored. The doctors even admitted themselves that it was inconclusive with such a small group of people and with other food being given. It should also be noted that all doctors involved received Nobel Prizes. So, it was then marketed as a supplement, a raw liver extract, to make it more palatable to the public. But it still just did not sell well enough. So, they decided to switch the market over to farmers to give this crap to their animals, marketing it as a miracle cure for anemia. Basically, the farmers were now feeding herbivorous animals their own organs, essentially making them cannibals. The farmers made excellent customers, as they did not question if the stuff worked or not, and they bought it in bulk as an antibiotic. But the makers of this extract did not give up trying to sell it to humans. This was where the real money was to be made. So, extracts of raw liver were sold as intramuscular injections throughout the 1950s. And it was in 1948 that this extract of raw cow liver, now with kidneys also added in, was officially given the name Vitamin B12 and touted as a cure for pernicious anemia. Again, all doctors involved received Nobel Prizes. So let's review. This extract of cow liver, sold as vitamin B12, was never obtained from dirt or water, as many vegans now are taught to believe. It was derived from the raw liver of a cow to treat what was most likely simple food poisoning, with absolutely no proof that it was effective or necessary. The whole concept of this product was based on the theory that animal organs are beneficial to humans. And of course, when veganism started showing signs of exponentially growing, that became the perfect consumer group to target. After all, vegans were obviously deficient in animal products, and especially the newer, less confident vegans could easily be persuaded that they needed to supplement with something that plants could not provide. and it was pure marketing trickery to label the product as a vitamin, so as to bypass regulations that a drug approval would have required. One of the very few known pioneers questioning B12 as far back as the 70s was Dr. Vivien Vetrano, who lived to be 91 years old as a vegan, who never supplemented. She said, "If vitamin B12 is not in fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, and legumes, and if bacteria does not manufacture in the body where humans can absorb it, then we don't need it. The only other explanation is that nature made a great big mistake." Do you think nature made a great big mistake? I don't. I believe humans are 100% herbivores that require only plants for nutrients. And when it's claimed that you used to be able to obtain this mysterious bacteria vitamin from the dirt and the water, how many decades has it been since anybody last ate a fruit or vegetable that they hadn't meticulously washed off first? And when was the last time you got your water from a fresh mountain stream? So if everything is so sanitized and the soil so depleted now, how the hell are we still able to get all the other essential vitamins, nutrients, and beneficial bacteria from plants that grow in it, except for this magical B12? And why isn't B12 available from the same plant sources as the other B-complex vitamins? The soil and water explanation seems to be something that vegans have added on to explain why it's no longer available in the vegan diet. But it makes no sense. Once you follow the money trail of B12 and how it came to demonize the perfection of a vegan diet, you will see it leads directly back to pharma, who manufacture it, and the meat and dairy industry, who want you to buy their animal products. Why does the Vegan Society tell vegans it's dangerous not to take B12? Because they're making money selling the supplements. The truth is that these synthetic supplements are made in the same drug labs that make vaccines, using the cheapest toxic waste byproducts to maximize profit. Sources of the bacteria include dairy whey, which is waste from the dairy industry, activated sewage sludge, coal tar, and strains used to make dangerous antibiotics like synthetic penicillin and streptomycin. As for the list of deficiency symptoms, these could apply to 20 other medical conditions. Just the side effects of taking B12 are much more frightening. The B12 patch has a listed warning that it can cause blood clotting and heart failure. The supplements cause skin toxicity with outbreaks of severe acne, as well as increased risk of cancer, as shown in 2 recent studies.